So Merrill, you must be working out our calorie deficit for the day, are you?
I am indeed.
What have we got? Have we got a deficit?
Yeah, 324 calories.
324. Well, we don't do any exercise today, so that's actually pretty good, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's pretty good, yeah.
Okay.
Not unhappy with that.
So this whole calorie deficit thing, what's it all about? Why is it important?
Well, what it is about is I use MyFitnessPal, which is the app that I use, that one.
Yeah.
And what it does is it gives you, you fill out your prerequisites, what your goals are, stuff like that, and it will give you, for your height and gender and weight, the calorie count you need to get where you're going. So for me, I want to get to 63 kilos. My goal calorie intake is 1700 so a day. So what I do is I count breakfast and I count lunch and I count any snacks, and then there's dinner. All that counts in the day. And today I'm at 1373 because I pre-fill it in because I know what I'm going to do.
And it talks to our smartwatches, so when we do a workout or go for a bike ride or something,
yes,
that all gets counted as calories that go into the calculation.
Yeah, so I'll find...
Actually, before we do that,
Yep.
the reason why this is so important to anybody, but to us in particular, is that we're both on a weight loss journey. Your weight loss journey is a lot more spectacular than mine.
Or more demeaning, depends how you look at it. Because I let myself get to that point.
Well, okay. So we briefly touched on that before, but what was your worst point? Do you know how heavy you were at the worst point?
Well, no, because I weighed after a month of walking, and I had dropped over a month, because when you're really big you have a lot more weight to lose, so it's easier to lose initially. So I weighed after a month of training and I was 154 kilos. So that's...
But you reckon you were what, probably 10 or more, even above that?
Yeah, I was.
And
let's round it off and say 170.
Okay, so it's way more, so you've lost more than half your body weight.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, and but you weren't always, I mean, as a teenager and as a young adult, you were in that sort of so-called healthy weight range.
Oh, absolutely. I was a sporty kid, played netball, played basketball, swam.
So without getting into too much gory detail, what went wrong? How did you go from that to like the other?
Well, clearly I was unhappy and I had a shitty marriage and 4 kids to look after, and shit happened.
It just slowly happened?
Well, when you're not watching, you're living.
Yeah.
You're living for other people because you're responsible for other people.
Yeah.
So you don't look at you.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I jettisoned 100 kilos of husband that I looked at me.
Okay. And then what was the turning point to make you decide, right, I'm going to do something?
I got sick. I was severely overweight. We're probably talking size 30, 34. Clothes. When I was that big, I got glandular fever and my neck all swelled up, and I went to the doctor and she says, oh, you've got glandular fever, there's 2 kinds, you got them both. And I went, oh, so what do I do? Well, there's nothing you can do for glandular fever. A little bit of exercise. Yeah. So the first day I walked maybe 200 metres and it took me half an hour. And then, sadly, I had to walk back. So it was like an hour to walk 400 metres.
Yeah.
And that was my first day. And I thought, oh, okay, that's not so hard. So I tried to get that down to a smaller size. Then I started walking the youngest 2 kids to school. And then I just continued on for an hour. And I got further and further in the hour. And I was dropping the kilos. And but my diet was extreme. I dropped meat, I was only eating steamed vegetables, I didn't have much for breakfast, I stopped baking. The kids hated that, so I stopped baking, I stopped eating it, so I changed everything. And
how long did it take you to get down to what, like the healthy kind of numbers again? Like what period of time?
I'm going to say 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah, because this took me 25 years to put on.
Yeah.
So let's say 10 years to get off, which
Yeah.
is miraculous.
Yeah.
But the one thing about losing it slowly is that you don't regain it as quickly.
Yeah, and just to be clear, there was no surgical intervention, lap bands, or
No.
anything like that, or even weight loss medications. It was all
No.
just exercise,
And
diet,
diet.
and working
Different
hard.
attitude, yes.
Okay, so and the other thing so you got down to that size, and you've sort of been around that size for what, 10, 15 years now? You've been able to keep that weight down?
Yeah, I guess.
Because often what happens, of course, is that people rebound, don't
Yes. Yeah, and the reason people rebound is because they just diet, they don't exercise, because you must maintain a muscle mass, and for every kilo you lose, a third of that is muscle.
they? Yeah.
So for every, say you lose 10 kilos, you lose 3 kilos of muscle, which helps you burn the fat. So the next 3 kilos is harder to lose
Yeah.
because you don't have the muscle to burn it.
Yeah.
So
So that's
you
why
must
people end up
exercise.
back where they were, or even worse.
Worse, generally. And they fad diet, whereas
Yeah.
what we do is not. I write a shopping list on a Saturday. We shop over the weekend. We get everything on the list. If we forget it off the list, we don't go back and
Yeah.
buy anything else because we might buy something we shouldn't.
So you're that small percentage that's been able to keep it off
Less
for
than
a
5%.
long period of time. This was all before Don came on the scene, of course. I only heard about this afterwards. So that's very commendable.
Thank you.
And the other thing you decided to do, which was a bit interesting, was you wanted to try and help other people through what you went through. So you decided, hello, I'm going to be a trainer and I'm going to help
Well,
other
actually,
people.
you helped with that because
Well,
it was your suggestion.
yeah.
So, I went to TAFE and got my qualification and now I'm a personal trainer, which may sound wonderful, but it's not an industry where you make a lot of money. So I make enough. More clients would be better, but
But
make enough.
unlike many of the people that are there, they haven't got the backstory that
Well,
you
it's
have
very-
to
it's
sort of
very-
back it up. Because you had some weird trainers and people, didn't you? Just briefly, what?
I had a trainer once who at a gym who said to me, Merryl, just 10 more deadlifts. And I went, I feel like I'm going to spew. No, you got them in you. Do it now. And he yelled at me and I went, well, you need to move this way a little bit. And he come towards me and I'm thinking, I go down, I come up, I'm going to spew on his shoes. Great. And I did. And that was the last time I had him as a trainer. You can't disrespect your clients. If they say they feel sick, they feel sick.
Yeah.
If they say they can't do an exercise, ask them why. If there's a reason for it, maybe it's an exercise they absolutely hate. Find another one. There are millions of them after all.
Yeah.
So you can't disrespect.
So often
people
these
that
are just
way.
young people straight out of, PT training school, never been overweight themselves, and
Yeah.
they just think everyone's like their mate and they can do like 50 sit-ups straight off or whatever. you know.
Yes. 1,000 squats. Yeah, let's do that. No, let's not, because that person has to get up tomorrow.
Yeah.
So my philosophy is you start out light, we figure out where your problems are, we rehab them, then we move into the exercise to lose weight phase, and we just, every week, we just add a few more reps or a few more sets, and then before you know it, you're doing 1,000 squats and you didn't even know you'd done 20.
Yeah, so a big part of what you do, of course, is the weight loss and the maintaining weight loss thing. Anyway, we've got a bit off the track. Now, back to the calorie deficit. Okay, so can you just explain how you work out how many calories in the day you predict it, do you? You put all the food in
Well,
and predict it.
the app helps you. When I make something originally, I put all the ingredients in and it tells me how many calories something is. So with this, so when you know approximately what it is, you can then just go to one that's slightly a few calories more. You don't have to be exact, you just have to be aware of what you're eating.
That number at the top is our number for the day today, is it?
This one?
No, on the right, the deficit.
Oh, sorry. This one?
324.
Yes. Oh, shit.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's the deficit for today. Now, you luckily are on my diet, so you get to lose weight by proxy because you're eating the same calories as I'm eating.
Yeah.
So, and you're a lot bigger than I am, so you are losing weight because I am.
Yeah.
So, and then there's the exercise portion, and you come down here to the exercise portion, adds exercise, cardiovascular. Now, these are the ones that I've done previously, and
Can you find a day where we did have a fair bit of exercise?
yesterday, Thursday,
Thursday. Yes, Thursday was a good one. Where is it? Snacks nuts. Yeah, so we did a 5-minute cycle to the park, a gym
Calories,
session,
as we go.
21.
Right.
A gym session, which took me 94 minutes, which was 524, which is excellent. Then we continued to ride into the city, which was 90. After a class, we rode round for a bit. Can't explain 222, but it's 55 minutes worth of exercise. I'll take it. 7 minutes because I rode to Matthews, which is a client, at 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Then I rode home because I have to go up a big hill. It takes a lot longer. And that is the number for my exercise.
Right, so it's 949 off the tab, which left that day with a 1287.
Yeah, because
deficit.
I actually only ate 1362 out of my 1700.
Yeah.
The exercise and the difference, you had the difference between that, which was approximately 300 or 400, and the exercise, and that gives you the remaining.
Yeah, so well, my number would be a bit less. Although I eat the same food, obviously I don't ride to your clients and all that stuff. So
No, I know, but you're also 189 centimetres and I'm only 170.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
you know, you've got more of you to burn things. So if you don't do the same exercise, you're still going to get the result.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously this is a thing that you'd recommend. Is it hard to figure out initially?
Common sense, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put all the things that I make, I put in the app and I worked it out, and then I divided it by 6 because the big ones are divided 3 meals each.
Yeah.
And the other one that we have on the alternate night is divided by 2.
And then you put in there what your goal weight is.
No, it figures that out itself. I don't put the goal weight in.
Oh, okay.
I put the goal weight in, I don't put the calorie count.
Yeah. And then it will say, because you keep telling me every now and again, like in 5 weeks' time, based on what happened today, the app says I should be, and it'll be a weight, won't it?
Yeah, and now that is just a guide because everybody's metabolism burns at a different rate.
Yeah.
You get used to an exercise so you don't burn.
And because it's always
exercise.
5 weeks out, you never get there anyway. Well, I mean, you do get there, but it just keeps recalculating for 5 weeks out, 5 weeks out.
Well, that's exactly right. So long as the trend is down, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, that's good. Okay. Well, that's probably enough on this. So we'll start talking about the actual way that you build muscle and calorie burn. Talk about our gym, our free gymming.
Yeah.
That can be the next one, hey?
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Thank you, Merrill.
Thank you.